That's his new name, Bosley.
Okay, so here's where we're going to focus today. So this is called the 6 Personal Perspectives. It is a class that's taught. We're actually going through 2 of them. If you go to the other 2 launches in future weeks, we will cover the other 4. So we do 2 a week. I don't know why I felt like I should group them first and last, but I did. So here's what we're doing. So we're going to first talk about committing to self-mastery and then being accountable. So where'd my mouse go? Here we go. Okay, so there's this thing in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book called the Economic Model. You might hear this called the MREA, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, MREA, or the Red Book. The economic model is like business math. So we're going to do that real quick. So how much money do you want to make this year, like the rest of the year, from today until the end of the year?
$125,000.
$125,000. Okay, what else? Shout them out. What do you guys want?
177,000.
177.
Do it.
I love this. So, hopefully these have reasons behind it. They seem very specific. I know a lot of people when they get in real estate, they say, I want to make $100,000 because it's cool to say you make 6 figures or something. I'm not really sure why that's the number, but so we're going to do math off of this. So you take your 125, 177, whatever number that you come up with, even if you want $100,000, and divide that by $6,000, right? This is, if you're on a team, your average commission. If you're not on a team, it's probably closer to $12,000, but then there's some cap and some things like that. So let's do the 125 here for you. 20.833. So you need to get 21 closings at a 50-50 split to do that, which is very, very doable, by the way.
Really?
Yep. I think the rookie of the year, what did Ritz say the other day? I think he said it was 30 that from a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, it was 24, like
20
years ago.
24, 2 years ago.
What they mentioned.
3.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened last year.
5 last year.
Yeah. All of you are going to close more than that. So that's not the bar, but 21, this is real. So, and that is off of if you get $6,000 for every closing, which if you're on our team, that's real. If you go out solo, you're going to double that. So then you'll have a handful that are less than that. So 21 closings. Now we're going to divide that by 50% or really double the number is the same math. And that's how many appointments you should go on. So we're at 21. How many appointments do you need to go on? 42. So if she goes on 42 appointments this year, she should probably make $125,000. Is the math there? Look at that. 5 started. So we're
I got 1 hot one, 3 warm ones, 4 warm ones. I'm really tired of time. 3 warm ones and then another person who's just kind of looking, but they'll buy something on the basis of their other 3 friends.
Yeah.
Finds it.
So here's kind of how this math works, because I just kind of made up a lot of numbers here for you guys to make it easy. So Gary Keller says if you go on appointment, 75% of those people will work with you. That's just kind of the number. Some people are worse, some people are better. If you're working with friends and family, it's usually better. If you're working with random internet leads or for sale by owner or something like that, it's usually a little bit worse. Averages out about 75%. Now, of those people, not everyone's going to end up buying or selling. They might need to get too much more money for their house than it's actually worth, or they can't find what they actually want, so they don't end up buying. So 75% of those people will end up closing. And so if you times 75% times 75%, it's almost 50%. I like easy numbers when I do math. So that is your whole goal. Take how much you want to make, divide that by $6,000 so you know how many closings you need, and then times that by 2 to know how many appointments you need. And then I would even break that down by the week. So how many appointments do you need to go on every single week? And then your job each Monday is to figure out, how can I get that many appointments? So with 42, if we were going to do a whole year, that's probably a great year, one a month, one a week for the whole year, kind of an idea. Because you're going to have a few weeks off. You probably won't work Christmas and Thanksgiving. You're going to have some holidays here and there and vacations. And so you don't have to have appointments those weeks. But so 42 is very real as one a week. Now we're a few weeks into the year already. So you might have to have 1.5 or 2 for a little while. I have a mouse here. So with this goal that you threw out a number, I want you guys to think, like, what does that actually do for you? What, like, is it the income that you need? Is it you're trying to buy a certain thing? You want to get a new house, your own house, a rental property? Do you have a very specific, like, closing goal that, like, that validates you? Like, I did this. Clay Winder, that's in the brokerage, he said when he got started, he wanted to prove to himself that he could make money so he could tell his family, like, this is a real job.
Right.
And so, like, that was his first initial validation. He closed 8 transactions in a year, and he's like, this is enough money for me to live. He was a college student, so it was really easy. It was a lot of money for him, but that was like his validation. Do you want to go get a thing, right? Do you want a boat? Do you want a vacation every year, a house in Hawaii, whatever that is? Do you want to own your time? Whatever that is, think about your goal and what you want to accomplish. We're trying to build a life that you want. So what's your goal? Now that that's real in your mind, what would your future look like if you don't achieve that?
It would be exactly what I have right now.
Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Good.
I have a mother-in-law, she just broke her hip. We have
Mm.
an apartment and you have to go downstairs and upstairs.
Oh,
So it's like, we're on a first floor, but not really, because
Yep.
go downstairs and it's been really rough on her. So, yeah, I want to get her home.
yeah. Yeah, I imagine all of you got into real estate for some sort of change, improvement, or the potential that it has to offer. And so think about, like, if you don't do these things, what will your life end up like? And really dig deep here. Like, sometimes I'll, like, write out these kind of things. I'll think of a thinking question is what I call it. It's like, what happens if my life never changes? If I literally keep achieving the exact same that I have for the rest of my life, what will I end up with? It's definitely not the life that I dream of or what I want. And so then I start to think, what are the little tweaks that I can make in my life such that I'm on a different pathway to get there? How we're going to do that is committing to self-mastery. So how they explain this is self-mastery is, first you got to know your goals, then look at your strengths and weaknesses, and then we're going to figure out how we can, what's knowledge, skills, and habits you need to put in place to reach this. The little quote here is, the road to mastery of a chosen subject is the road to mastery, or is the road to mastering the basics of self as it relates to that subject. So we're not trying to be the best real estate agent in terms of knowledge or skill or anything. We're looking at it at ourselves. Let me give you an example of this. I know a real estate agent that says that he has never asked his sphere of influence directly for a referral. He never says, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? I know other real estate agents that is all they do. They call everyone they know and say, who do you know looking to buy or sell real estate? They are very different. Both of them are making calls to their sphere, but they're doing it in different ways. So they need to master themselves and how they're doing it. It's their strengths and weaknesses that they're playing on to do real estate the very best. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Think of it like this. So if your goal is to master prospecting and your strength is that you're good with people, but your weakness is you're uncomfortable bringing up business, which who sounds like this? Almost everyone. It's a weird thing to do. Hey, thanks, you're my friend. who do you know looking to buy or sell real estate? I want to make money off of our friendship. Like, that's a weird thing to say, and it feels uncomfortable.
Not put it that way ever.
Good,
Ever.
good.
It's always something like, hey, I wanna help something come true.
Yeah,
So like, if they're looking for a house.
yeah. I think internally we tell ourselves it's gonna sound like that, like what I said, right? It's gonna be like, oh, why would they even be my friend if I'm asking them questions like that? But the way that you're phrasing it, if you had that thought in your mind, like, I am helping people. Like, think of everyone that wants to buy a house that doesn't really know how to, or the people that are going to buy a house and gonna pick an agent that doesn't care about them the way that you do. Like, there's a lot more positive spins. So if you're good with people and you're uncomfortable bringing up business, then we can build a plan off of that. We're gonna practice scripts, take Ignite, and call your sphere of influence. And all of a sudden it will become normal to have these phone calls, these conversations, and things like that. So, with your goal, what do you guys feel like you need to first accomplish to move forward to achieve that? What are you missing?
Me, it's mindset.
Mindset.
It's just mindset, and not being afraid to step out of my comfort zone and do something entirely new. It scares the hell out of me. So there you go.
You are like everyone's favorite in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk around this office, every single person talks to you and comes up and gives you a hug. I imagine your entire sphere is that same way.
Yeah,
And so you just need to talk to them and they'll give you business. You almost guarantee it.
your friends wanna help you.
Yes. So lots of people do feel that way, by the way. For example, I took my son to an eye doctor who happens to be my neighbor. And he needed to get new prescription glasses. And my wife's like, should we get them here or try to go to Costco and save 50 bucks? I was like, do it there. She's like, good. I know you don't like spending money, but I'd rather do it here. It's like, I would rather help him rather than save $50 because, and we're just making up numbers. Maybe it's the exact same price. Who knows?
Well, someday you need to buy a house, get in a new house.
Yep.
Smaller,
Yep.
or whatever,
Some,
kids grow up, they. move
you
away.
need houses. Who are you gonna pick? Are you gonna pick someone that you know and like and trust? Or are you gonna pick a random stranger or someone that you don't have a good relationship with? So mindset, we can keep working on that, by the way, Scarlett. What else? What else is stopping you right now? Or what do you need to master?
Lead gen, I mean, especially for me, because I'm barely starting out, but just getting my name out there would be the number one thing right now.
Yes. You are a secret agent right now,
Yeah.
right?
I love that term. That hit me to the core yesterday at team meeting. I was like, I'm a secret agent.
Yes.
I feel the same way. I'm like, I'm so afraid to get out there, but I'm doing it. And I'm doing it, in kind of a different way. And some big, like, agent in Miami said, hey, you know, I'm always looking for referrals and I'll send my referrals to you too. And she's in Miami and I was just like, I never would have thought that you could collaborate, just social media. I just share her stuff. And I shared another, I just find agents and somehow they find me. They're like, hey, thanks for sharing my stuff. Let's collaborate. And so I didn't even think that would generate, I mean, anything, but she's she's killing it in Miami.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm like, hey, this collaboration could work for all of us.
Right.
Just find these people on social media and share their stuff and just,
So have you put any of your own stuff on your social media?
quite a bit.
You have?
Yeah.
I need to look at your
I've
stuff.
just been doing reels. I created a separate social media platform for
What's
the
it called?
business, Sarah Heiner Realtor,
Okay.
and that's Instagram. And I've just been collaborating with these other real estate agents, and there's one in Park City that I have a call with today, just from like sharing this stuff and like, I don't have a
Wonderful.
huge following. Like, I just think people love to collaborate. They just
Yeah,
need
they
to know
do.
you're there. And if they get a good feeling about you, they're like, hey, let's collaborate, especially in other states, because, you know.
And the same works on LinkedIn too, by the way, like you can join groups there.
Oh, yeah.
And you can, follow people and, sometimes they'll do presentations and things. And you attend their presentation and then you send them a request and say, oh, I really liked your presentation that you just did, blah, blah. And pretty soon you'll have a whole lot of people.
I love this. That's what my thoughts were on the way over here, is that I love getting in tandem with other people, just I love that.
I read this article the other day that I thought about way too much, talking about the surface area of luck.
Mhm.
Like the chances that you get lucky, like imagine it like roulette. If you go and put money all over the roulette table, you have a higher chance that you have something that wins. But if you don't put anything out there, there's no chance that you can win. And so maybe that's a gambler in me. I don't know.
Not ready to get it.
Yes, but so it's the same. Like, before I was in real estate, I sold security door to door for a summer. And I remember my first week, they told me nothing. Like literally the instructions were, if you get into the house, call me and I'll come meet you wherever you are.
Wow.
And I'll help sell. And then they're like, good luck. And they just released me to a neighborhood. And it was probably like 4 or 5 days in, I knocked on the door and I like gave some little pitch and she's like, oh, sure, come on in. I would like a security system. And so I called my friend and he's like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. And I just started talking about the system, everything I knew. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. And I was like, I don't even, like, it wasn't a sales pitch. She was just ready
Yeah.
for a security system. She had probably thought about it for a while. And then I'm this random stranger that says, I will do this for you. And she says, okay. Like, it's the same thing with houses. If you talk to enough people, you're going to find someone that's like, I do want to buy a house right now, or I do want to sell a house right now. And so we just need to increase the surface area of luck. And some of that is going to be skill. Some of it's going to be just sheer action and talking to more people. So with that, I want you to guys have this idea of a growth mindset. So there's the fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. And the growth mindset, what it says is how you are and your personality is not fixed. You are going to change and improve. For example, like the people that are introverts, and some of those people are like, ooh, I'd never do well in real estate because I'm an introvert. All of the successful real estate agents I know are extroverts. But that is not true. That's like a perception that some people have. But you don't have to be an introvert all the time. Maybe that's where you get your energy, but you can be extroverted at times to go and generate the business to be that. So you can grow and change and everything. By the way, one of the best introverted real estate agents that I know he's in our Mapleton office. He usually comes in every Tuesday to team meeting. His name's Dan Kennedy. If you are ever like, I'm introverted, I can probably connect you to, because it might be weird for you to go talk to them directly. But he gets out of his comfort zone for an hour or two a day, making his phone calls, and then he doesn't talk to anyone for the rest of the day. But it works for him because that's his personality, and he knows I need to be uncomfortable for this amount of time to generate business, and then I can be back in my comfort zone. And so it's very helpful to him. So if you were to think about it, we talked about like something that's stopping you from some of your mastery here, but what do you think some of your obstacles are that would stop you from hitting your goal, your income goal right now? What's going to stop you?
I don't have that mindset.
Good.
I do it, like, I have to do it. Obstacles, gotta
Yes.
get out of my way.
One day you're going to run into an obstacle, and keep having that mindset. There's always a way over it. With my coaching clients that I do, I'm going to let you guys into a secret. I use the same formula for every coaching call that I do, and people pay a lot of money for it. I say, what's your goal? Where are you right now? What's stopping you? AKA, what's the obstacle? Or what's your opportunity that you have right there? And then what are you going to do about it? and then I hold them accountable to what they're gonna do. If we ever sit down in my office, you'll probably notice that that's the same kind of flow that I will do forever. Yeah. Yeah, if it gets too therapist-y, then I have to like, no, we need to talk business. I'm a business therapist, but nothing else, not good at other things. So there are always something in your way at some point, right? It might be you don't have enough time to call enough people. It might be that you don't have enough people to call. And so as you run into these obstacles, what we need to do is figure out what are some solutions around them and then go there. Does anyone have an obstacle in their mind that worries them right now?
For me, I'm just getting started, trying to figure out time blocking and how much time I really want to put in. And, I'll just figure out all my goals and stuff. And then he's like my main job, but his schedule is changing.
Oh,
And
yes.
so it's just like trying to figure out okay, how do I make my life consistent where I can really put the time in and hold myself accountable and everything, but at the same time, be flexible enough to adjust to his.
How old is he?
You need a mommy
18
support group.
months.
Oh, yeah.
You need a mommy support group.
So that's probably my obstacle that I'll need to kind of.
Yeah, you should meet Kylie. She has, how old? 2? Is that
She's
how old her
like
youngest?
a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so she's right in your same boat.
she would love to come collaborate.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be fun. Which we'll talk about that in a minute, collaborating. Yes. I probably have a bunch of advice for you, but I don't want to give it to you yet. I want you to learn a little bit and see what obstacles you're really running into. Some obstacles are 100% in our mind. We will make it up oh, it will be so hard to do these things. But then when you're doing it, you're like, oh, I could do that. It's really funny how we do things like that. I could never do that. But if you had a 9-to-5 job and your boss was like, you have to do this, you would just do it. And it would just be like, I just do it. That's part of my job. I hate this part, but I do it. For some reason, when you're your own boss, you don't do that because you're like, I would never do that, so I'm not going to do it. So some of these things are, what's the obstacle? What's getting in your way? And do you just need to push right through it? Or do we need to get creative and kind of go around it with doing it our strength way, right? So how can you lean into your strengths to remove the obstacles? And then do we need to improve any weaknesses, right? That growth mindset, you can improve your weaknesses. There's this whole theory, if you're good at math and bad at writing, rather than a kid, rather than getting a writing tutor, you should get them a math tutor so that they can excel in math and just be mediocre in writing. And we are going to do both of that. If you are good at something, we want to focus in on that and use that to go get more transactions, more business, grow and build it. Because everyone has this unique personality and we want to use that for the good, which is why I don't like to tell people exactly what to do. I've been debating this last week if I create a class of this is exactly what you do when you get in real estate. You need to call these people, say this thing, do this stuff at these times. I could lay it all out like that. And I think it would work for a handful of people. And for another handful of people, they would hate it and it wouldn't work. And it wouldn't, because my strengths and how I would design this would be very different than Scarlett, for example. So I haven't yet. Maybe I'll still do it. I'm still mulling it over. So we either need to avoid some weaknesses or look at improving them, right? Get uncomfortable for a little while to improve them enough so we don't fail English while we're acing all of our math tests. Kind of an idea.
Cameron, have you seen a difference just in gender with women and men? I think it's easier for a man to make a phone call than a woman because we're a little more chatty. And so we tend to be like, oh my gosh, we get off topic a little bit because, our brains are different.
Yeah.
That's my challenge. I think men can easily be like, hey, bro, how's it going? Make it a 5-minute phone call. And then they're done. And they're like, man, he was so nice, but he only took 5 minutes. A girl, that's where I struggle because yeah. They're like,
Set a timer.
Yeah, it's hard.
How do you say goodbye?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say
No.
goodbye.
Your timer, say for instance, your timer is 15 minutes. And when you get to the 10, you know that you gotta wrap it up.
I don't
somehow.
even know how
some way.
to stop a conversation. It's like,
You're like, oh, well, I have to
Timer
go
go off.
somewhere, or I have a meeting with a prospective client, or whatever.
I've heard people that will start the call, like, hey, I had 5 minutes, but I was thinking of you, I wanted to give you a call, like, then you're giving yourself a limit. So if you're real worried that that's gonna be you, you can do things like that. I think that this is more of a made up worry.
It is,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know who the average real estate agent is in this
I know,
nation? It's like a
cute.
50-year-old woman.
Yeah.
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 I'm 9 years too
Yeah,
late.
we're the weirdos over here.
She broke through that too. She probably had to train herself to keep it short because she has a lot of people. And I
But that,
know
that
her.
might be your thing that you excel at. I mean,
Yeah.
because all this is about relationships.
It is, it's relationships.
Yeah.
And so if you talk for 10 or 15 minutes, is that gonna be bad?
No, it's like an hour or 2 hours.
The other night was so long. And
Yeah.
then she was like, oh, and I have to tell you something. And I hope you don't get mad.
Uh-huh.
It just became this long drawn out thing.
And you say
She was in a bad
place.
place.
If you know you're gonna talk to somebody who has just got to talk to you about the whole thing, then pick a time that you can just
Yeah,
give her that time.
yeah.
I ran into this problem just at TJ Maxx meeting. I don't know how to say, I gotta go.
Okay, well, that is a weakness then,
That
that
is a
you need to either avoid or improve. And so like a script, like, I have 5 minutes, but I wanted to give you a call.
You interject in a conversation where they're deeply engrossed in telling you their whole life story and you're like,
If you don't respond, then give them the.
I feel like if I give you all of my, yeah, I feel like if I give you all my secrets, that when I do it to you guys, you'll know.
it's okay.
No, I don't, I would never do these, but like, you could literally grab your phone and be like, oh my goodness, I gotta go. And yeah, it's not that you're taking a call, maybe you're looking at the time, maybe you got a text, like, they have no idea. Oh my goodness, I gotta go. If you're in
Oh
person,
my goodness, I gotta go.
yeah. But then you actually need to leave, so if you're shopping, that might not work, then you see them.
Or you create
Around
your
the
own
corner.
schedule that you have to like adhere to really tight, and then you're like, I have to be at the library at this time, and then they go, oh, okay. Yeah, and then you believe it.
Yeah, I have an appointment.
I think for me, like validating them a lot, like, hey, I really care about you, and like, I'm so grateful that you want to tell me all of this, and that you trust me with this, but like, I have a really busy day, like, I have a full packed schedule, and like, I don't have the time and space to really like listen like how I want to right now, like, so I'm really sorry, but I have to go. Maybe
Yeah.
we can catch up another time or something.
Yeah, imagine if you had a real job, right? And you were on like a 15-minute break and you called a friend and you had to go back to work. And you'd be like, I want to keep talking about this, but I gotta go. Let's keep talking. I love you so much, or whatever. I don't know. That doesn't sound like me. I'm more of the hey bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you, bro. That's what I'll have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back to the.
Yeah, someone was saying that they're gonna get on Marco Polo and chat. Be like, because then you can watch the video later and respond later, so maybe Marco Polo is the way to go. In terms of like improving your skill set, in terms of mastery, the few things that you should for sure make sure you're doing. Number one is the Pro U. I think all of you have received an email from Ritz that has a link to this. It's in your 30, 60, 90, which is also another link. It has a buyer like course, a seller course, and the case studies are in there. I feel like there's a fourth one that I always forget. This QR code is the education calendar. So it's not just like our things, but the whole brokerage is on here. Ignite. There are 20 classes of Ignite. If you can, they are Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:30 till 11:30. They're taught by the top agents in our brokerage. And so they change. If you like the class or need help in one, I would say go to that a few times. If you can't come in the daytime, there's actually an Ignite After Dark And you can shoot me a text or whatever. I can send you all the info about that. It is Tuesdays at 6:30, I think, 7:30.
Is that instead of, like, if you?
You could do both.
Oh, you could do.
Yeah.
both,
And
it's not by
we-
different.
Yep. Yeah, the Ignite After Dark is actually people all over the nation.
Which is
that
great
teach it.
because you can connect with people there.
Hmm.
And
So-
is it through Zoom?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It's on Zoom, so you can just kind of hang out and watch. And then if you miss one of these classes or think that was so amazing, I wish I would have taken better notes. Ritz always records these and puts them on our YouTube channel afterwards. And so you can like and subscribe. My kids would be proud that I said that. Every Tuesday, we have our team meeting, just downstairs. This is the entire brokerage. We always try to make it super valuable. And usually there's lunch after from one of our sponsors. So that makes sense to come. Then we do our team meeting for our new agents. We call us the high performance team. And we do that every Thursday at 9:30. I try to keep it within an hour, but I'm not good at keeping it within an hour. So don't plan on just an hour. And we will cover something high level, awesome, and then trying to be applicable to your business. So for example, this week, the HPT meeting, high performance team meeting. So this Thursday, we have a lender or two coming in to talk about the lending process and grants and how to get creative with financing, what to do if someone doesn't quite qualify, things like that. And then every morning, except for Thursday, we do a power up. So it's questions and scripts that we go over, and that is just on Zoom. You don't even have to have your camera on if you don't want.
Do they record those?
I don't think we do.
Because I loved it the other day when I got on, because you were doing just a simple script and I was like, yes, I got that. And then afterwards, I was like,
You're like,
okay,
forgot
what
it.
are they saying?
Yeah.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Maybe I'll write it down, the scripts that we use. Create
was
like a
so
big
easy.
script
It
book.
really was so
Yeah.
easy, but I complicate it in my mind.
Hey, I haven't talked to you in 5 years.
I
Tell me
know.
everything.
Tell me
That was the script that we practiced.
Yeah,
that
and
was-
then it's, why are
called
you
it the-
calling?
Yeah, yeah. Because I want to call you. Can I not just call you? So there's this big problem in real estate that there is so much to know to feel comfortable. I want you guys to be okay not knowing everything. That's why we have all of those crazy amounts of resources for you. The Pro U is going to do the high level overview of buyers and sellers, and then the case studies are actually writing contracts. Those are the important three. Ignite's going to go through the whole process. In our team meeting, we'll dive into anything that you see is necessary. Power Up will be questions and scripts. So you don't need to know everything to start getting into action. Start making your calls, setting appointments. If you're like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm doing. Where do I even go for this? I can send you the resource, or we can even sit down and go over what that would look like. And a lot of those times I like to do it all in a group, right? Like if Scarlett has a question, I'm pretty sure everyone else wants to see what the answer is because no one knows everything. So
He just got his leg.
I know, I'm so excited. I feel like we've been waiting for like
Yeah.
a month.
I waited, like, I passed my test like exactly a month ago. And I guess my application got lost in the mail, so. So yesterday I drove, yesterday I drove up and I was like, here's my whole application, don't lose it this time. And yeah, the lady that was helping me, she just took it and I got it this morning, so.
Yes. Okay, go make your calls and be
Yeah.
legal. Go knock on some doors.
Awesome.
So let's talk about accountability. There's this idea of a victim versus accountable. This is like the story of my life right now with my children. I will give you a perfect example of my oldest, who's 10, in this victim mentality. The other day, he said, I want to play the Switch, and we lock them all down. So I had to put in a passcode, put it in, and I said, hey, by the way, your Switch is about to die, and handed it to him. He then ran to the couch, sat down, started to play, was doing Fortnite in the middle of the match. His Switch died. Do you know what he did? He got mad at me. So number one, he didn't seek reality. He didn't think, I should have charged it the night before, like I constantly am telling him. He was fighting with reality. We literally went through this. I should have brought this up and be like, look at all the things that you just said from this. You're being a victim. But I did have a victim conversation with him. So he was like, I didn't hear you. You didn't do this. Like, he was literally blaming me. And I said, this is not on me. You should charge your Switch. You should have listened to me better. You should have done all of these things. I also could have been more accountable. And when I watched him sit on the couch, I could have said, you should go charge your Switch. But that's another story. Yeah. Then, yep. Nobody told me. It's not my job. I did my part. Like, literally these personal excuses. And so as this shows up in real estate, we often are like, this isn't working out. And we don't take accountability for it. We don't seek for reality. We fight it. We blame others. We have excuses, and then we just kind of wait and hope. If it was meant to be, it will happen, kind of a concept. It's out of my hands, the things that you hear all the time. Now, if you're accountable, you're going to seek reality, figure out what's actually going on, acknowledge it, then you own it and find solutions. And then you can get on with it because you have a plan, you have an idea.
So, yeah, in the Red Book, while I'm reading it, and they said a lot of people rely on sort of the market to give them leads, but the market can also take leads. Like, when it's a good time, it'll give you business, but when it's not a good time, it'll take away business. So it's up to you whether you want to have business or not.
Yep. Years ago, like 2010 maybe, I wanted to buy a house. I went and talked to an agent, and on the MLS, I favorited 25 homes to go see because there was just way too many homes. It was a buyer's market. I could have offered whatever I wanted and everyone would have been happy that I was even talking to them, kind of an idea. So I favorited 25 homes and I said, let's go see all of them. She showed me 4 homes that day and I was mad at her that we didn't see more. Like, these weren't even my favorite 4 homes. Like, what is she doing? She's an awful agent. Anyway, we kind of cooled off, and then we were introduced to another agent actually here at Keller Williams in this office. And he said, I am going to show you 3 houses and they are going to fit your criteria and they're going to be the best deals that are on the market. If you don't buy one of these 3 houses, you're not looking for the best deal. You're looking for anything that's on the market. My job is to get you a good deal, and that's the value I add to my clients. Are you okay with that?
Wow.
And I was like, dang, yes. Then I didn't qualify for the loan because no one qualified for the loans, and I didn't buy a house. But instead of saying, here's 25 houses, I'm going to narrow it down to a few that I will show you, he said, I am going to show you 3. So that exact thing, like, he took complete control of the market. The market was, we're in a buyer's market. His idea was, I'm going to own this and I'm going to be accountable to show you the best 3 houses. Still probably a great script to use, but I thought it was pretty good.
Is that what you do to your clients?
No, when I'm in my buyer's appointment, my goal is to find the home that they're going to buy. And I tell them that. So I'm like, hey, let's pull up some houses on the big screen. And we're going to go through what you want and don't want in a house. And I'm going to ask you why. And then my goal is to find the house that we ultimately buy. Because it's not strange for us to find a house now, set a time to go see it, and then like it enough that we put in an offer and you close on it.
What if they don't like what if they're not truly sold on any of those, though?
Then we just do it again. We say, great, none of these fit. Now we know more. Let's plan to go out in another week or in 5 days, or when the next homes come up, kind of an idea.
But that's where your inability to stop a conversation will go in your favor, because the real trick is to figure out what exactly
Right.
are the things they have to have.
So I went and showed this couple, just case in point. I've met with them 4 times now for another agent. open doors for them. And here we're looking at the same style of home, and then all of a sudden we take this turn to this other home that's completely different. And they put an offer on it
Yep.
the next morning, so. But it was just very different from what they said they wanted. And then they go to this house that almost was $100,000 more than what they were looking at,
Of
but
course it was
I'm
better.
like, I said, I'm so glad you didn't settle.
Yeah,
And you got something completely out in left field. That's not what they were focused on, but now and the house is old, needs to be updated, but there's land,
yeah, they can do more.
so.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think it's important always to like drill down on why. Like, what do you want? Like, if like a couple comes in and they're like, we don't have kids and we want a 3-bedroom house. Why? Why do you want 3 bedrooms? Are you going to have kids? Is like one work from home and one needs a craft room? Do you need a spare bedroom? Like, tell me why. And if they're like, oh, I'd love to have the guest room, it's like, oh, okay, who usually comes to stay in your house? Oh, we've never had anyone stay in our house, but we thought, like the idea. It's like, okay, so if I found a 2-bedroom house, would that still work? And you can kind of weed out some of these things that people have in their mind. Everyone says they want a boat. I don't want a boat. I want enough money to rent a boat whenever I want because I don't want to do the boat maintenance. So everyone's like, it'd be cool to own a boat. I'm like, nope, it'd be cool to have boats at my disposal, not own it. Kind of an idea. So to drill down in the why and make sure that they have a reason for everything. So if you are looking for accountability, we have some options. Number one, I'm here for you. I can hold you accountable. If you're like, I need to make 50 phone calls this week. I have a little system where I will take notes and say, great, you will make 50 phone calls this week, and then follow up with you to see if you made 50 phone calls. If it's as simple as you text me what you want to do so I can hold you accountable, great. If you're coming to like Power Up and want to throw it out there or team meeting or whatever we're doing, come by my office, however you want to do that. It might be someone else in this room right now with you or on the high performance team, right? Who else do you know that's similar to you? Like we mentioned, Kylie has a kid about the same age, and so you're going to have a lot of the same struggles. Can you hold each other accountable in your mom version of what your day should look like? Also, someone else probably brought you into real estate, put that in your mind or whatever. Could they help hold you accountable? I have a coaching client who has an 18-year-old son who holds her accountable because he's getting ready to go to college. He wants to go on vacations. He knows that if his mom makes more money, he is going to have a better college and trips and everything. So he's like, Mom, you making your phone calls? Like whatever that looks like, someone else has bought into your success. And how can you lean on that and have them help you? Or you can do all of it. And then accountability can be whatever you want it to be, wherever you're struggling and want to be held accountable. And we can be very harsh if you want to, or very easy. Like, did you make your 3 calls, Sarah? Kind of an idea of which she did the other day. Yeah, so easy, 3 calls. With that, if I were to talk about accountability to an ideal day, I would say that you start your day with like a Power Up and script practice. A lot of times we'll do scripts on Power Up. Sometimes we'll get into the questions and things like that and miss out on some of the scripts. If you're missing that, I would practice even if it's in the mirror. It was better with a person so you can get some feedback of what's going well and what's not. But so no more than 30 minutes. If you're practicing scripts for more than 30 minutes every single day, you're probably doing it wrong, unless you're like practicing a listing presentation or a buyer's presentation. That one might go longer, but that's not going to be an everyday kind of thing. So get better, because think about like a NFL is probably the best analogy for this. They play 1 game a week and they practice for months in the spring and then all week long, and then they play 1 game. And they are in a position, like the receivers maybe get thrown the ball 10 times in the whole game, but they spent months just running and catching the ball. And then they get maybe 10 tries in the game. That's how it should be with this. We shouldn't practice on our people. We should practice with each other, get better, and then go game time on some of these. So power up and practice. Next, I would do lead generation. And I'm breaking it down into two categories, prospecting and marketing. Prospecting is where you are going out and finding the business. You are making phone calls, you are doing activities that directly lead to business. Marketing is the hope and wait kind of an idea, which I also think is important, you know, posting on social media, create a flyer that you pass out, kind of an idea. So like an idea would be prospecting would be door knocking, marketing would be leaving them a flyer on their door. Both are good. Prospecting would be talking to your sphere, marketing would be writing them an email or posting on social media, something like that. I would spend at least an hour doing that every single day. Then it's lead follow-up. So as you're getting all of these things coming in, you have your 5 people that you're working with, go find them. What's that house? Go call them and be like, are you ready? Are you now a hot buyer or seller ready to go? Then I call it the whirlwind. You should just kind of throw that out there. You have to answer emails and texts and all the random things. You should go on appointments as often as possible, 42 this year, if that's your goal. And then all of your other education and personal development. I put that at the bottom. I actually think it's very important, but it is not more important than lead generation. My biggest problem with our whole schedule right now is if you go to Ignite Monday, Wednesday, Friday, team meeting Tuesday at 11, and then our team meeting Thursday, I've basically taken your whole mornings all week long that you're not going to prospect. And so that's why I say go to Ignite at least one time to get all of the knowledge and then get very into start making calls. And use the afternoon too. You don't have to do just mornings, but make those calls, lead generation, and then learn. So what are you going to go and do this week? What's some of your ahas and action items?
Well, I'm gonna be out of town this weekend, but there's a Provo, tour of homes
Yes.
that people should be going to. Oh, that's cool. So hint, yes. I won't be there. What do you guys should?
From a, like,
There's
from the
a
builder?
tour of homes, yeah, you go look at the homes and see what they have available.
And there's a bunch of them.
There's always, every city has one in the state, so like, you just make a plan, tour of homes, just type tour of homes in your search bar and you'll find Utah. So just-
Yeah, we used to do that as agents. It's probably still going on. But it's like you would submit your house to be on the broker open
Mhm.
and everyone would go walk through your house and give you feedback.
Oh,
Do you think
that's
it's
cool.
priced right?
Just like
Yeah.
Learn what's on the market, so
Yeah.
that people ask you, hey, what's out there, how much is it costing and stuff like that, whatever. Yeah.
Take pictures as you're walking through.
And just to get feedback from people, because as a homeowner, you think your house is perfect and worth, you know, a lot more than. So it's
Yep.
nice to get other people's, are these brand new homes? Are they?
Yeah.
These are brand new.
Most of them on the tour.
I think so. Oh,
It's a tour of homes. It's the builders.
Okay.
There's one you can see their home.
Oh, cool.
What else? What are you guys gonna do this week?
Phone calls.
Phone calls.
Um,
Yes. No
I
more
think I made a
secret.
plan. We have a
Ooh.
good plan.
What's your plan?
So it's fun to like team up with other people and, cause we're all new and we all have like different skill sets and she's really good at a lot of things. Like she came from the corporate world and, you know, I have a skill set too. And so if you just like merge, it does make cause I think for her and I, we both were like, we don't know what to do. We were both sitting down there one day and we're like, we don't know what to do. And so we just started collaborating like on week 2 or something. And we're like pulling in Dave and everyone we could. And so we just kind of have this mindset that you guys probably all do. Like, we don't know what to do. What's our first move? And it's fun when you can collaborate with someone. We have plans. This is getting me out of my comfort zone. Is we're gonna door knock
Ooh,
and we're gonna be a team and we're gonna be like, hey, and we're gonna target certain markets. So this is good for all of you guys. We're gonna target we're gonna find homes that have just recently sold. And we're gonna use that as our pitch. We have another strategy for homes. We have we have a big plan for it, but there's different strategies we're gonna use, but homes that are being sold, homes that have been sold, or up and coming, like, new developments, and we're just gonna, and I never door knock. Like, this is gonna get me out of my comfort zone.
I'm
It's just like,
excited
let's
for
just
it.
Do it. So
I
yeah,
can get you a LDS missionary dog.
no, I'm like, we're two women, like, what, we're moms, like, what are people gonna think? Yeah, we're either missionaries or Jehovah Witnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diana Kokoska, she was like one of the big agents. She started the coaching company at Keller Williams. She sold like 100 homes in her first year or something, like something
Holy
ridiculous like
cow.
that. Yeah, she is like the most impressive person ever. Anyway, she would put her kids in a wagon and go door knocking door to door with her children in a wagon. And I just think about that, like my kids wouldn't sit in a wagon for any amount of time doing door knocking, but she's doing something different.
Diana,
Probably
Kokoska
bribed them.
with the
Yeah,
K.
if you could sit very
Yeah.
quietly for 1 hour.
Yeah.
You can just stay up a little bit.
Yeah, if you
later.
Google Diana Kokoska,
how do you
There's
spell cacao?
K, I have no idea.
Probably K-A-K-O-S-E.
I think there's a W in there.
Kowska?
Yeah, or I don't know.
We'll figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, she has a bunch of trainings and things like that. You can literally watch her listing presentation. She is very like scripted and everything. She came up with Bold, which is one of the best trainings that you can go to. It costs $800 to go to, but definitely go to it when it comes.
Do you know when that's coming next?
It's October, isn't it?
I think in the fall. Yeah. Might be one sooner, but it's in Ogden,
Oh,
so
oh,
I don't know.
maybe
It's
it's
what-
not what I was thinking. Susie Love told me about something
Yeah,
that's
they might-
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, Bold is crazy. That you have to talk to 100 people a week or you get kicked out.
Oh, and we're also coming up on wedding fairs. Those people have a place to live, do you?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Pardon me?
Wedding fairs, they're coming up because people wanna get married. Not, maybe not this June, but maybe next June.